Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello and welcome to the Psych Legal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I'm the therapist, Tess Brigham.
And I'm the attorney, Brooke Brigham.
So today we are talking about Season 18, Episode 20, Sister Wives, Christine and David's Wedding, Part 2. Phew. The final episode. And do you have any overall thoughts or feelings about this episode?
Oh, wow. I really did think that the wedding was beautiful. Some people have said that they didn't like the colors or the flowers, and I liked it. I thought it blended in with the kind of natural orangish, color of the rocks, and you know what I mean?
They also got married in fall.
Yeah.
So with their appropriate fall colors.
Yeah, it's October. Mm-hmm. It's very rustic. I liked it. I love the decorations. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a beautiful wedding, and the cakes were gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah. Christine was, she was a bit much during this whole episode. Look, I know she's just happy as can be.
Yes.
But by the end of it, I was like, okay, I need a break from Christine for several months.
Well, and the thing is, there's not much. It's hard because usually I have tons of notes, and this one, I don't have a ton of notes because it's really just about the wedding. And now we're doing this, and now we're doing that. Yeah. We're just watching a wedding, and I think I found McKelty the most annoying.
Yes, I have stuff to say about her.
Yes. Okay, good. Because I have some thoughts too.
Yeah, I do too.
But
she's going through something.
Yeah. But Christine, I didn't think was so bad. But I think, and when I saw that Kody was there, I was like, Brooke's going to be mad. Brooke's going to be furious. And I'm just kind of some of the things that Robyn said, like, what is happening here?
I know.
It's a little bit like, we're covering also the Daughters of the Cult. That'll be out on Thursday. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of these people are connected to Christine, some of them very directly. Mm-hmm. And it is, the whole thing is making, me wonder about who are the Browns? Like, who really are you people?
Exactly.
Because I thought I knew, but now I have no idea.
Me too. I'm kind of having an existential crisis over this because I'm sorry. Yes, Christine has ties to some very unsavory people. And you know what? And also all these people are related. When I was doing some deep diving on the internet and looking at all these family trees, and literally like Kody, the Jessup family, Christine's family, even Mary's family, they're all related somehow. Mm-hmm. I'm sure all of them are like distant cousins of some sort.
Yes.
And also this AUB church that they're involved in, that they try to downplay as being, not bad. They are bad. They've done a lot of bad things, and people in those churches have talked about it. People who've left the church, including Christine's mother, who've left the church saying how hellish and abusive it was. Mm-hmm. So I'm just, it's like, my head's kind of spinning from all of this.
Yes.
And I'm not saying the Browns are in any way like these people. That's not what I'm saying. But I feel like they've lied to us.
Yes, they have. They've
misrepresented themselves.
Yes, I think, yes, they have.
And I also feel that Christine maybe this is her coping mechanism of how she dealt with her childhood, because she's always saying how great and wonderful her childhood was. And Annie said it was hell.
Mm-hmm.
So which is it? And it's like, is she like, is this some sort of disassociation or splitting or some way that she's coping with stuff? So she's just she's like, again, her rose-colored glasses, like she's rewriting history. She's just going to say it was wonderful. Mm-hmm. And then in her mind, it's wonderful.
I will say that, obviously parents go through a lot of stuff that their kids don't see or experience.
Right.
Certainly I've heard mom talk about the past being like, this was such a hard time. And I'm like, huh? It was, because you're a kid. And, in that Daughters of the Cult, they're talking about the early days at that colony back in Mexico. And I think the kids, they're like, oh, we never wore shoes and we were running around. And I think it's easy. I think both things can be true at once. I think that Christine probably has a lot of fond memories of her childhood. I think there was, stuff that Annie was going through. She shielded from Christine and her siblings, and maybe Christine had all of that. But yes, by the time you're 8, 9, 10 and you're aware of more and more, then was it as wonderful and amazing, or did Christine somewhere get stuck in her 6-year-old mind of this is all great? I don't know.
Yeah, no, but I'm just starting to really question a lot of things, and yeah, they weren't forthcoming with it, and they also know these things. That was not what what this TV show was supposed to be about. This is TLC. It's supposed to be like about a family.
Learning channel.
It's a learning channel. But also, they have all these shows about families, and and as we've seen, look at the Duggars. Like when they were first on, no one knew anything, and then time goes on, stuff comes out, and so their job was to put on a show that was a family friendly show. And, that portrayed polygamists in a different light than they had been being portrayed. And so they did that job. And so, they're not going to talk about anything really negative.
Yeah. And I understand that wasn't the point of the show, but it is that feeling. It's almost like when you find out a housewife is broke. Do you know what I mean? It's a little like
you feel like you've been fooled or something.
Yeah, like wait a second, all of that's fake. Like they found out when Jen Shaw got arrested. That it's like, oh, so nothing you say is real and true. I never watched Salt Lake City, but like nothing you say is real and true. You're a giant liar, and everything that you wear is fake. Or most of what you wear is fake, and the rest of it has been stolen from people.
Right.
Whatever's real that is been just, you've gotten from scamming people. And so it's that feeling. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, then what's real?
Yeah, it does. It makes you question. It does make you question what is real.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're here
today. What is real? You know what's real? The love between David and Christine.
Yes, I think I think that's real. I hope it is.
I do. God, I hope so. But I really like David. I do.
I do too.
I like him a lot, and I think that it is I do think that their love is real, and I think that the big fear of how quickly this all happened, which is what people have talked about, is the quickness of it. Again, I think that in the polygamy world, that it must feel a long time to be, with someone for a year and not be married already. But it is all quick. But at the same time, I just feel like, you've said this many times, the bar is really low for Christine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think that as long as David shows up at night and tells her she's pretty, or not even that, just shows up and pays attention to her.
Yeah. Touches
That's
her.
all she needs. You know? It's a little bit like it's a cheese pizza and she feels like she's eating a giant steak.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, and some
pizza is good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I'd probably take the pizza over the steak, but something happened in this episode that kind of made me go, what? So in the middle of the reception, where people are making speeches, his daughter, Kody, gets up and she tells everyone that she manifested this.
Yes.
That when she found out that Christine was single, she told her dad, I think you can do this, or something to that effect. I can't remember her exact words. Maybe I have them written in my notes when we get there. But basically, it kind of made it sound like she told her dad, well, get on a dating site, and maybe if she's looking for people in this area, she'll come across your profile. And it kind of sounded like that's because I don't think David was on the dating site before that. It sounded like she told him to get on the dating site. And then lo and behold, Christine did discover him on the dating site. And because they've both said that she contacted him first. But that could be a story too. Now I don't really trust Christine.
Well, but hold on. It could also be Bumble. And on Bumble, the female has to do it first. So maybe Katie said she's single, and maybe maybe he was complaining like he's lonely or whatever, or they want him, or maybe he once saw her and said she's so pretty or something. And then maybe it was Bumble where he kind of put himself out there and was like, okay, well, if she contacts me, she contacts me. And lo and behold, there she contacts him. Well, but the story keeps evolving and changing a little.
One of the pictures that I believe was on his site or his dating profile was a picture of him holding like a Minnie Mouse mug. So that's like, to Christine, that's like towards her? That's like bait. Yeah. Like she sees a Disney. Here's this guy. He likes Disney.
He's got piercing blue eyes.
He probably showed off some of his tattoos. I kind of, now I'm like, oh my God, did they target her? He claimed he did his profile himself and he picked all the pictures and whatever, but I don't know. For Katie to get up there and be like, I manifested this, that's quite a statement.
Yeah.
So I think there's more there.
Well,
cracks are showing.
Yes. Well, the episode opens up and they get right into it. I thought there was going to be a bunch of buildup, but it was like, okay, the wedding, it's the wedding day, dress reveal, get dressed. Okay, now you're dressed. Okay, here's her dress. Now everyone get up there and walk down the aisle. And my God, a lot of people walk down that aisle.
Yeah.
Half the people there walk down the aisle.
Well, it was all those David has 1 million grandkids.
Oh my God. I'm like, who are all these children?
Some of it, the ones who couldn't walk had to be carried by other people. There were so many little kids. Yeah.
So I wonder how he ended up picking Kody and Reagan. They walked David down the aisle. And I wonder how they ended up doing it that way. Because he has more than 2 daughters, right?
Well, maybe they didn't, just like Logan and, Leon, maybe they didn't want to participate.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Maybe the other ones were like,
because we know that Logan and Leon were there. We've seen pictures of them, but they were not on camera. One time I saw Audrey and Leon kind of quickly, in the foreground or something. But I didn't see Logan at all.
Yeah, I didn't see Logan at all. No.
Yeah. So maybe they just didn't want to.
Or Garrison.
Oh, I saw him in a crowd scene. He was there,
but he didn't
didn't talk or be on film. Yeah. So maybe those are his favorites. I don't know. No idea.
Well, and then I have to say, truly, I love the jumpsuit. I love that she wore that jumpsuit, and I love that she had her hair dyed, like halfway down. And she goes up there and she gives them both a ring, and she says to Christine, "You deserve the best, mother," and then hugs her and then hugs David. And I'm like, see, Kody, see, you feel so confident, but,
right? Don't be too sure.
Even truly, because this is, she's seen things, truly knows.
Yeah. Well, and then she also said to Christine, I think she said also, I told you to go on purpose. I don't know what that is a reference to. Told her to go out on a date with David. Maybe Christine was like showing
her.
Leave
the marriage? Leave Kody?
No. I think it was maybe like she was showing this is my guess. I don't know. She was showing truly David's profile, and he probably had maybe asked her out, and she said, do you think I should go? And maybe Truly said, yeah, you should go. Maybe that's what she was referring to. I have no idea. but she did say that. I don't know what it means.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, knowing Christine and Kody's marriage, right? Like, truly, because all those other kids were much older, they all moved out. I mean, truly, probably was her companion.
Yeah.
Was
Totally.
probably the person and she and Truly moved together. I mean, I think that she probably tells Truly all this stuff and talks to her about it. She had no one else to talk to.
Yeah, no, totally. I totally believe that because I know I did that with, obviously I'm not saying anything inappropriate, but yeah, when you just live with your teenager, you just end up talking about everything. It's just the two of you, and it's just like, you're just there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that it was, so when Peyton walked Christine down the aisle to Rex, and then he walked her a little bit.
And again, Rex is real chatty. He's like, "Oh, you look so beautiful. Oh, this is so wonderful." I was like, "Ooh, are you going to start bashing Kody again?" Let's hear that.
Yeah. Let's hear about how much you don't like Kody. Just one more time.
Let's hear about that again as you're walking her up down the aisle.
Yeah. Well, and one thing I wondered, I really felt like the wedding itself was kind of short, and I wonder if they edited out because I just felt like Christine. I'm sure they had these personal vows that they wrote to each other, calling each other the king and queen and goddess and princess and whatever.
Yeah.
But they probably just didn't want that on TV. That's my guess. But I know Christine had all these, mushy vows she wanted to say. And so then they taped just some regular vows at the end. And, what was his name? Corbin. I thought he talked too fast.
Corbin was nervous.
Yeah.
He was really,
nervous.
This was a big gig for Corbin.
Yes.
This was on television.
It's on TV. Millions of people are watching.
And while Corbin has, officiated other weddings, I think he felt the pressure of this one, and he seemed super nervous.
Yeah,
super nervous.
He was talking very fast. And again, this could have just been edited for time. But yeah, he didn't say any of the stuff he said he was going to talk about finding love later in life and the unicorn and whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. It was definitely edited because it was pretty quick. Thank God, because I was very worried it was going to be this whole long thing.
Yeah.
But we learned some things about David. Corbin has nothing but nice things to say about David, about how he, when did the wife die? Like how old were the kids?
It's been a while, I believe. I think some of his kids were pretty young.
So he would go to work all day and raise all these kids. And then in the evenings, instead of sitting down and watching TV, he was plowing neighbors, snow out of people and building someone a wheelchair ramp. And he's just a really good person, it seems like, according to Corbin.
Well, yeah. And just, God, raising 8 kids by yourself, like,
yeah,
a lot.
That is a lot. And I'm sure the daughters had to do a lot themselves if you've got 8 kids, but it is a lot. I can't imagine doing all that. And then they kissed, and boy, Christine, she just could not wait.
This was the first of several kisses. And I'm sorry, Chris, that kiss was like, your first kiss in the 6th grade or something. Like the tongue. I mean, you can just see the tongue. So much tongue.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how you kiss on your wedding. That's not what. There's a time and a place for that kind of kissing. And that is not it.
Well, Christine doesn't know. She doesn't know. She's been so starved. I bet you Kody hasn't kissed her in 25 years. I mean, they had sex, but I don't think he ever kissed her.
I don't think he ever kissed her, tongue kissed her, no. But, by this time, you think David would have given her some pointers.
Yeah.
Like a little lighten up on the tongue. I mean, literally, the tongue is just darting in and out of his mouth. It was so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot to take in.
And then he did the little leg flip.
Yeah, which was the talk of the reception about him doing the leg flip. I was like, okay, we got it.
Which, I thought was strange, but Dave, that's just him. He's like dad. Everything with him, it's just a dad joke. So he's like, well, the girls can do it, so why can't I? Everything is a dad joke.
Yeah. But then we have to go to Flagstaff.
Again.
Yes. So my question is this. Who got a hold of Kody? What PR company, what crisis management company got a hold of Kody between even last episode and this episode? Like who did someone give him a pep talk or something? Because suddenly Cody's saying all the in a Kody way, but more like he's less bitter. He's happy for her. It still doesn't feel it still feels loaded, but he's like, oh, I just wish them happiness. And just as long as my children are treated well. And, hey, we had 27 years together. I mean, what? Who are you?
Well, okay. I think these things were filmed on the same day. Okay. Because they're wearing the same clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like any time passed between his comments that we saw last week and his comments this week. I think what happened was they started doing these things. Robyn took him aside and said, you are being way too negative. You need to turn this around. You need to be positive. Just say nothing but positive. And so then when they came back and he was like just kind of going on and on saying the things Robyn told him to say. And then he's like, I'm just going to keep talking until the camera shuts off, I guess. Then he was starting to get sarcastic and mocking it. Like, well, I'm just going to keep saying these nice things. And then that's when she's like, okay, I got to cut this off. And then she says, give me a kiss. And she grabs his face to shut him up. Mm-hmm. And then she gives him this strange kiss and her eyes are wide open the whole time. And she's shooing the camera people away like, stop. He can only do this for so long. He's hit a wall.
Yes.
So we need to stop this now.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. I had a feeling, I knew it was all done at the same day, but I was wondering if it was was it Robyn? Was it the producers of Puddle Monkey? Like who pulled him aside and said, get it together?
I think it was Robyn.
Yeah, it had to have been. She's the only one he listens to anyway.
Yeah, but then they show her, then this is really weird. Then they cut to her in a confessional with her blouse on. And she's like, this is really difficult for me. It makes me wonder, does plural marriage really work? And it's like, for the 10th time, Robyn, no.
Well, but the thing is that it's like, so now here we are. It's like, this I felt like a big bombshell in a sense, because of anybody, Robyn's always been the one that wanted it, forcing it. It's what we want. It's what we want. What we want. And it's a little bit like, so now you are now questioning it? Like, huh? Like, it's just, again, it comes back to, did we ever even know these people?
Yeah.
You were dying by it. When Christine was trying to leave.
At the picnic table with Mary, you were, devastated. I don't know how long ago that was, but I mean, and
same year.
Yeah.
It was still, I mean, I want to say it was about probably 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
So now you're here?
And that makes sense, because I was wondering, why did they drop this random thing right here, right now in this episode? And maybe it was they're like, well, we got to get a clip in of Robyn saying that she doesn't think plural marriage works anymore or something like that, So yeah, you're probably right. That was a big thing for her to admit, I guess.
Yeah.
So back to the wedding.
But that was so weird, because she drops that and it's like, hey, we're in Moab now, hey, let's take photos.
Hey,
it was
we're taking pictures.
Yeah, it was just so weird. All right, keep going.
Okay, well, this is one of the first of the obnoxious McKelty moments. So,
yes,
they've got 1 million photographers there. They've, that's their job. They're supposed to be, coordinating the photos. And McKelty comes up and she doesn't like how people are placed in the photos. And she's just yelling about, what's with all this segregation? Some people need to go over there and some people need to come over here. And she's just yelling. It's like so obnoxious. And it's like, McKelty, just shut up and go where the photographer tells you to go.
Yeah.
This is not your wedding.
It's not your moment. And it's not your, because the photographer, when I got married, the photographer asked me ahead of time, like, who are all the shots that you want to get? Like, what shots do we need to get? And you don't even really get those. And so you are, especially if you take pictures after the wedding, which is what my husband and I did. And so you were there, you know how complicated it is. Like this person, this person. The best thing you can do is just shut up. Yeah. Shut up and go to the spot you're supposed to go in. And it's chaotic and there's tons of people and all of it. It was your little Layla was so little. You got babies and people and
little kids and no, it was extremely chaotic. I was just like, whoa, everybody be quiet, especially you, McKelty.
Well, and also when you have this many people, we had a fraction of these people, and that was hard enough to wrangle those people together. But it was what it felt like was pay attention to me now, pay attention to me, right. Pay attention to me. And it's like, no, let your mom have a day.
Right.
God.
Well, and here's the thing that hit me in this episode, because she goes on and does this several more times. McKelty is Kody. She is Kody.
That's a mic drop moment right there. McKelty is Kody.
This is the kind of stuff that Kody does. Mm-hmm. He has to be the center of attention. He says stupid things to, get attention, to deflect attention from other people, to look cool, to seem cool. And I think McKelty's confidence level has gotten to a point where she's just feels very confident, just like, everybody look at me, listen to me. Mm-hmm. But that's it. Yeah. Well, I was like, she sounds like Kody.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I never thought about it like that, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You think she and Tony did the Ozempic?
Oh, they had to have.
Because there's no way they got that from Plexus. No. They both lost a tremendous amount of weight in a fast amount
She
of time.
had twins 1 year ago. Mm-hmm. Even if you were doing the most draconian diet and, exercising all the time, you could not lose that much weight that quickly. And they both somehow managed to lose 100 pounds or something, each. It seems like, a lot.
Yeah.
Like super fast. Yes, they're doing Ozempic. Plexus is not I don't even
I guess
think
it's not a
weight loss thing. It's their thing is about, it's a drink that, has a lot of vitamins and energy and they talk about energy, like increasing your energy. I don't know what's in there, but it's just synthetic juice. It's like juice with synthetic vitamins things in it, and it's very expensive. And I'm not going to say anything about it, but no, of course they're on Ozempic.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then we get a big thing with all the kids asking about polygamy.
And they do this, these producers.
So sick of this.
These producers are dumb. It's like, how many times have these kids had to answer this question? Mm-hmm. Every season seems like they have to answer it at least once. And the answer has never changed, with the exception of Leon. Mm-hmm. It has never changed. It is always the same. They all say that they're glad that they have their family and their siblings and they wouldn't trade it for that. But no, nobody wants it.
The one thing I think that's changed is it feels more pointed now, right? It feels a little bit like, yes, the general thing that they're saying is the same, but it's more pointed in the sense of what McKelty said, which is, it's a terrible idea. It's not what people deserve. Mm-hmm. I feel like they're getting Isabel, Aspen. They're all getting to that point of, yes, we love our family, but this is not okay.
It's not fair to the mothers.
Yeah.
It's not
we
fair.
Don't. Yeah. And they never said those things before because they couldn't.
Right.
Now they're like, oh, forget you. I'm an adult.
Yeah.
So, and then we get Mary.
Yeah.
Mary has to be shoved in there somewhere. And Mary looks like she's lost weight.
She looked better. She looked different.
And she's, she's very happy for Christine. Same thing she said last week. She wants to meet someone, and okay, great. We shoved in Mary there.
Yeah.
And now it's on back to, Janelle.
Yeah. So Janelle says, I actually see David and Christine sitting on the porch with the rocking chairs watching their grandkids. Mm-hmm. And that's, big dig to Robyn there.
Yeah.
Then she also says that, the children who aren't there, they're always welcome to come back, which of course they won't, but.
Yeah. Which is also a dig to them. Like, your children, as opposed to what you think, your children are always welcome.
But you know what? They never address why Gwen is not there, which I thought was odd because
I think that's very odd.
Christine kept saying all of my 13 children and, making reference to that she has 13 children, but one of them isn't there and there's no explanation. And I feel like if they knew ahead of time, maybe I kind of feel like Gwen maybe just at the last minute didn't come. I read this somewhere online. That was the rumor. And that Christine was very devastated because she thought she was coming and then found out at the last minute she wasn't. Because if they knew ahead of time she wasn't coming, I think they would have explained it.
Yeah.
Or come up with some explanation or something,
But we're getting interviews of David and Christine after the fact. Right? We're getting these interviews with them.
They could have said something then.
They could have said something. Something could have been said. So I'm with you. It is this very weird thing of we're just not going to acknowledge this. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Then we got David and Christine sitting at this little table together sharing an orange. What is that about? Is that some sort of custom? Are they just starving?
They're probably starving.
Why were they eating an orange? I was just like, is this a thing? So
no idea.
Yes.
But and again, McKelty also comes over before Christine sits down and she's trying to get camera time and she's hugging her and saying, I love you, Mom. And then she's like, oh, where are you sitting? And it's like, bitch, right here at the fucking head table that, with the two of us,
Trust me, McKelty wanted to pull up a chair.
Oh yeah. She wanted to sit there too. And she's like, oh yeah, well, I'm just sitting over here. So yeah, I have a great view of your table. She's just trying to get on camera. And it's like, go away. She's such a pest.
Yeah. And then we get the speeches. So this is where we hear the speech from Kody about manifesting it. And,
and Aspen.
Yes, Aspen.
She has to pop off at McKelty because while she's trying to make her speech, McKelty says something rude. I don't even know what it was that she said, but she's like, Aspen says, that's rude. Who said that? And they all go, McKelty. And she's like, well, that's why I'm up here and you're not.
Aspen's so done with McKelty.
You
think she's just like, oh God, I can't stand her.
Yes.
And I have to say that all of them look so beautiful. Aspen and Isabel and McKelty. I mean, like the dresses and all of that. It's really nice to see them kind of adults, grown into them. Aspen is such a beautiful, beautiful young woman.
Yeah, and Savannah looked beautiful, and Janelle looked beautiful.
Savannah, yes.
Yeah, everybody looked good.
Yeah. So we got Kody and Aspen, and then we get Evelyn, who is David's mom, who I thought that was very sweet, where she just gives this very short speech, and then, is it when they're dancing? They both say like, yeah, I miss Dad, wish Dad was here.
Yeah.
I was just like,
yeah, this time she just says, I'm Evelyn, I'm David's my son, and now Christine is my daughter.
Yeah, sweet. She's very sweet. So then we get Annie. Annie's speech is a little different. It was a good one. Yeah. But Annie was like, Annie's been writing this for years. Yeah. Like, you are a warrior. You are.
Well, she's just so happy that she got away from Kody. Annie hates him.
Mm-hmm.
Hates him.
Yeah. No, maybe Annie and Rex don't talk much, but when they get together, they talk about Kody.
They're united on that issue. Yeah. And in the beginning of Christine and Cody's marriage, he made Christine turn on Annie and wouldn't, because they thought that because Annie had left the church, well, not they, Kody thought that because Annie had left the church that, she was evil. And if they couldn't be around her, their kids couldn't be around her because she would try to, trash talk the religion. And so many years went by where Annie wasn't even able to see Christine or her kids. God, that woman is just been through it.
She has. So she's been putting this speech together in her head for decades.
Yes.
And then we get more of Christine and David making out in photos.
Oh, yeah. Why did they start making out again?
Oh, but this was the best part. I thought this was one of the highlights. So they're making out, and Janelle saying, so I wrote this down word for word, what Janelle said. She said, I like how they're open. She's like, they're very openly affectionate with each other. It's a healing balm that soothes the wounds that Kody inflicted.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, interesting. Janelle. And then she went on. She's like, Kody used to tell her, Christine, about how she was so gross and hard, it was hard work to be with her. And Janelle says, what a shitty asshole thing to say to someone, especially someone that you had 6 kids with 30 years and it wasn't true.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, thank you, Janelle.
Yes, thank you, Janelle. Janelle was the reliable narrator of this whole episode, because she really, because everyone else is gone. She's the only one left to explain, what's happening here. She did a great job.
Yeah. But I think it's interesting that she's really, this is a very different Janelle, because she really didn't want to badmouth Kody that much before.
Right.
But just how talking about like that is this wound that Kody caused, from her. And so I think that's why she's just sticking her tongue down his throat anytime she can. She's just so happy someone wants to kiss her. She's just so happy.
Well, Kody made her feel unlovable, unworthy, undesirable. It's just the worst.
But especially in what Janelle's saying, which is, do you not care? You had children with this person, like 30, like you don't even care about her feelings as a fellow human being, that you feel okay now. And you felt okay all this time. You felt okay writing that in the book. You felt okay speaking about this woman in this way. It's just awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, then we go back to Mary.
Oh, gosh.
She says, Christine totally deserves it, especially after all the shit that Kody said.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's get our last digs into Kody here in the last...
Oh, yeah, there's the final Kody interview.
Oh, now he's on the couch with his big boy clothes.
Yes.
On.
His blue blazer.
And his necklace. Yeah. And, he says Christine put a lot of energy into getting a soulmate experience, and it seems like she found it, and he wishes her well. So this took a lot of prep. Somebody prepped him. I don't know if it was Robyn or who it was, his agent. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like he went in there and, delivered the
even
line.
the way he delivered it, it felt condescending.
Yeah, it was.
She had this goal and hope to have a soulmate experience, like I do with Robyn.
I have for the last whatever years.
No. I'm happier than you.
Yeah, I've had my soulmate longer than you.
My soulmate was a jeans model.
Oh yes.
So yeah, and it just felt like that really? That's a lot of prep to get you here? Like, this is what you could come up with?
That's the best that they can do with him.
Yeah. Anyway, but then Kody says that, sorry. And then this was David, the dancing starts.
The first dance.
Yeah, Christine and David danced together. There was nothing major. Were they making out a lot in their first dance?
Not in the dance, no. Well, see, they took dance lessons for David to feel more comfortable. And so they did, they did their little rehearsed dance, and he twirls her around several times, and then kind of at the end does a little dip. And then, then David dances with his mom, and they talk about how they wish that the dad could have been there. And because Rex can't dance, Christine dances with all of her daughters. And Christine and both her daughters and David's daughters too, I think.
Yeah. And then we get Gabe. Gabe and Savannah are on their own couch confessionals. And, Gabe is also like never seen Christine this happy before. No slight to my dad, but she's never been, never been so happy. And then we get Kody again saying, oh, yeah, I'm real sad to miss the Brown family mosh pit. And I'm thinking to myself, how happy are they that Cody's not there?
Yeah. And do you notice?
Just suck up all the space on the dance floor.
Yeah. And did you notice there wasn't a mosh pit? People just dance normally like they dance at weddings. You know what I mean? Kody was the one who made them do, and it wasn't even a mosh pit. That's just what he called it because he thinks he's cool. But they did do a flash mob.
Yes,
somebody organized a flash mob on the dance floor, and David had no idea. He'd never even heard of a flash mob. But Christine was like, "Oh, they're doing a flash mob. They're doing a flash mob." But I don't know who coordinated that. Probably McKelty.
Yeah. No. Someone else raised their hand. It was from David's family.
Oh, okay.
I think it was a relative of David's. And I mean, it was a simple flash mob because it was a lot of hands, like a lot of arms up and swaying.
Very,
and,
very
something you could put together at the last minute. But it was very sweet.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, and also Christine danced with Peyton. That was sweet. And then we also had Hunter. You know, Hunter loves Christine. He talks about how positive she is. She has a positive feedback loop that's just fun. And then we have Cody's comments. Nobody cares. And then Robyn comes in and she says, you know, I like dancing with Kody, but I told him that we have to take dance lessons. And he said, why? And she said, because when you start dancing, I'm the pole and you just dance around me. And I thought that was very profound metaphor. Even though she didn't mean for it to be a metaphor and she doesn't know what a metaphor is.
Yeah.
It was like, yes, that's it. And you know, when Kody dances with women, he just throws them around. I'm surprised
it does not look enjoyable at all.
I'm surprised no one's had a shoulder dislocated. He just throws them around, tosses them around, twirls them around. It is his show. He's putting on the show, and they're just kind of there.
Yeah.
It's like, God, Robyn, you're right. Whew.
Yes. All right.
Okay, then we have the cakes.
Okay. So now we get them feeding each other cake. And there's 3 different kinds of cake. So they wanted to try all of them. And the first one was very tame. And then each time she fed her cake, it started to get more and more and more, to the point where, was it McKelty that screamed out, like, save something for tonight?
Yes. Another Kody move.
Yeah. But it's just like, that's your mother.
I know. Rude.
I know that some people have these relationships with we do not have that kind of relationship with our parents. We don't, do you know what I mean?
We don't talk about sex with them.
We're very casual for sure. And we talk about lots of different things, but we don't really, I do not want to know about my parents' sex life ever. And nor do I want them commenting on me. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, it was a little much. But again, she is a starving
She's
woman.
starving. And guess what? It's her wedding. It's her day.
Yeah.
Shut up. And she's shouting at her while she's trying to do her cake thing. Literally, McKelty is always hovering right there. And she is yelling while Christine's trying to enjoy her cake with David. But
his tongue.
It did go a little far because at one point, David and her both have a mouthful of cake and she comes in for a French kiss. She starts sticking her tongue in his mouth with the cake.
Okay, listen, she's probably not eaten a lot to get into the dress. I've been there. I know that one. So first, she is physically starving and emotionally starving. This woman has not been kissed like this in 30 years. Like ever.
Kody was her
thrilled.
First kiss.
Yeah, she is just so thrilled that he's not running in the opposite direction and telling her she's gross.
I know. Ugh. God.
It is a lot. It was a lot. But I mean, it's just kind of like, okay, this is what she wants. This is what she needs, you know?
Yeah.
And then we get this whole thing with throwing the bouquet. And that was a weird way of doing it. But okay, they like go in a circle or something. I've never seen that before.
Never seen that before.
And then someone named Tammy caught the bouquet. She was beyond excited.
That was David's sister, I believe.
Oh, okay. So is she single? Because she had to have been, right?
Yes, because she looked real excited.
Oh, she was beyond. You know, she must have had like a recent divorce or something. Like this was her. Oh, that divorce was the right choice. I'm on my way now. I got the bouquet.
Yeah. Well, and then Gabe said something on his couch confessional. He said that he felt like the real Brown family is back and that they're all back together. And I thought that was very interesting because Kody's not there.
And neither are Robyn and her kids.
Robyn and her kids aren't there. Mary's not there. So
are you talking about the real Brown family before Robyn showed up? Or are you talking about the Brown family that was before all the divorces? Like, which Brown family are we talking about?
Well, either way, the whole Brown family's not there. But I think, so to me, I took that as him saying, the people who matter to me are all here. You know, that really, and I'm not saying that like he doesn't love his father, but I don't think he likes his father.
Yeah. Well, all the fun ones are there. All the ones everybody likes.
Right.
Everyone gets along with, and there's no controversy. They're there.
The nice people.
Yeah. And now we get to Jared dancing for David.
This was
odd. And Jared, first they said it's his son, but then he said, no, he's not my son. He's a kid that grew up down the street. I'm like, how did Jared get an invitation to this?
Right. And Jared is odd.
Yeah. So Jared decides that it's a really good idea. And I understand that maybe in Jared's mind, he would think that this is real funny and clever and something people might be talking about. But Jared basically has David get in a chair almost like you would for a bachelor party or like what they do to bachelorettes.
Like a stripper is going to come sit on your lap. Yeah.
And this is usually women have to sit in that chair and some gross stripper guy comes and like dances all over them. And women are usually like, oh God, no, why am I, but so poor David's doing this. And Jared decides to do this full striptease for him. He doesn't take off his clothes, don't worry. But like,
he straddles
this is the Learning
him.
Channel, but
he straddles him gets on his lap and straddles him like a stripper.
Yes.
And then goes behind the chair and is like touching his chest and rubbing him. And I was like, what is happening?
And how long did this go on for? I mean, how awful to be there and have to watch this. I think I would have walked away. I mean, like, I can't see this anymore.
Well, then Christine got very, upset.
Yes.
That's my man.
Yeah.
So she comes over and she mimics what Jared did, move for move. She doesn't even have her own original moves. She awkwardly tries to hike up her dress and straddles David and kind of moves around a little bit, but not much, and immediately gets off of him and then goes around the back and does the same thing. It's like, oh, Christine's moves are terrible.
I know. Well, yeah, it wasn't good. And poor Janelle. Janelle's like, oh, this is weird. And Janelle was all of us. And all of Janelle's kids were like, this is weird. And they're all just like, it's their wedding. It's their wedding. It's okay. So then we get this whole thing about how plural weddings aren't celebrated. And then we have to go see poor Christine in that old ugly dress.
I know. How many times do we have to do this? And like, the producers must be asking her constantly, well, how does this compare to your marriage with Kody? How does this aspect compare to your marriage? Over and over again. And then they have to put up the picture and she has to answer the question. And it's like, we all know. It's okay. Yeah. Like, nobody is just tuning into this show for the first time right now. Nobody.
For the wedding, for part 2 of a wedding.
Part 2, no.
And then we see this glow light bridge, which I thought was very sweet and kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
The whole glow light stick thing, and they go through this bridge, and I thought that this was I thought this was very sweet, where David says, I was single for too many years, and Christine says I was sharing for too many years. It's like, and they found each other.
Yeah,
isn't that great?
God bless them.
Like, oh, yeah. So that's that.
That's it. They're married.
They are married. David and Christine.
Yes.
And I guess, they said Mr. and Mrs. Wooley Brown. Wooley. I keep saying Wooley. Mr. and Mrs. David Wooley. Yeah. So I wonder if she's going to change her name.
I think I saw somewhere that she is. She's probably just waiting for this whole thing, this season to be over. Oh, another thing I read on the socials, who knows if this is true or not, but apparently, talking about like, why is Kody in all of these episodes? Apparently he was insistent that he be included in the episodes. Because they probably didn't really want to include him because everything he was doing was negative, and they're trying to portray this happy event. Why would you want that negativity?
Or is it written in his contract that he has to be in every episode?
Maybe
something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But yeah, this was a contractual thing or like a power thing or something. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, well, if we're gonna have Kody, we might as well have Mary.
Probably it probably is that they, contractually they have to be part of every episode or cooperate with, do whatever. Like they can't just say, "Oh, I'm done. I don't want to be part of this," and they get paid per episode. So it's like he's already been paid. So
I'm sure. Then if Cody's looking for the paycheck, he's got to get that paycheck.
Yeah,
and they're just out there. Because they got a bunch of dead trees apparently in their yard. He and Robyn are trying to cut down all these dead trees
randomly, and that wasn't even their house. That was on Coyote Pass, and I believe. And I looked out into the background, and it looked like there was some sort of cabin or structure or something. Maybe that's a neighboring parcel. But anyway, I'm burnt out.
We're at the end of the season. Yes,
this is it. This is season 18 is in the can, and now starting next week, we're going to resume our Sister Wives Rewind. So we'll be starting on season 6, episode 1. And if you want to listen to our recaps of seasons 1 through 5, it's in the feed. Yes. Go back about a year ago or so. We started.
Yeah, well, we stopped when season. When we started or stopped. Sorry.
Well, we started.
We stopped when season 18 started because we couldn't handle that much Kody.
No,
because we were doing both.
But I believe we started covering them in late 2022. Because I remember we did on Christmas we put out like that Christmas episode where they go to the cabin. I think we'd already started. We had already started doing it before then, so maybe it was like November. I don't know. Yeah. Approximately a year ago. So you can go back and catch up on that if you want to. And Thursday we are you'll have the Daughters of the Cult. We're releasing that on Thursday, and we talked about how it's related to Christine. And what else is going on?
Yeah. Well, we have other things that we're going to talk about, other documentaries and such. We still have to figure it out. But stay tuned. Sister Wives related content on Tuesdays, and then other things, documentaries and other topics on Thursdays. And if you like this podcast, please give us a 5-star review. You do not have to rating, sorry. And if you don't have time for the review, that's fine. Just click the 5 stars. That's all we need. It really does help us, and it helps with the algorithm and being seen and all that good stuff. If you want to communicate with us at all, you can talk to us via social media at PsychLegalPop at Instagram and TikTok, or you can email us at psychlegalpoppodcast@gmail.com. We do read and look at everything. So if for whatever reason we haven't responded to you, it doesn't mean we haven't looked at it. It just means that we just need a better system. And if you could spread the word of this podcast, and we have lots of exciting things coming up. We have some announcements to make, lots of good stuff. And and tell a friend, tell 2 friends.
Yeah, Am I missing anything? Send if you like this episode or any episode, send it to a friend. You just hit a button to share, and it'll text it to them. At least on the iPhone. I don't know how the Android world works, but
I would think about the same. But maybe you had to do a little cutting and pasting. But it's all relatively easy, and we really do appreciate your support. And I think that is it. We will see you all next time.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.